Hey, family, you know what time it is. It's your girl, Delisha, your Millennial Empowerment Catalyst, where we get to encourage, inspire, and lift another woman up. Coming to you live on another episode, leveling up your confidence. It looks good on you. Tonight, we have an amazing guest under the theme, It Happened, Now What? We have Miss Adeline Lubin, a founder of Adeline Lubin Speak that was recently launched May 2021. Girl, you're doing things. She's a serial entrepreneur, public speaker, and a mentor to many. She finds great interest in assisting women from all walk of life to helping them find their voice while walking into their divine purpose. Miss Adeline Lubin, it's great to have you here this evening. How are you doing?
It's a pleasure to be here also. I am doing excellent.
That is wonderful. So, we use this platform where we get to inspire and encourage young women throughout the world with our stories where it is, sis, you're not alone, sis, get up, or someone can use your story as a survival kit. And with that being said, we have Miss Adeline Lubin who's going to talk to us about It Happened, Now What? So, Miss Adeline, can you share with us a moment in your life that you had to navigate this? It happened, now what?
Okay, taking it back. It happened. Now what? I would have gotten pregnant at the age of 17, which many of you would have known because I just recently shared my story. And during that time, I would have been in the 12th grade. When basically my mom would have found out, it would have almost been almost the end of my pregnancy, which in I would have hid it the whole time because I was one, embarrassed, two, ashamed,
Mm,
and I was trying to find myself in regards to where do I go from here because persons often look make it seem as though you made this mistake, you wouldn't mount up to be anyone, your life is finished, and it goes on. But I often tell persons don't allow your current situation to define you because it's a phase that you're going through and a lot of times that we often learn from our experiences. So with all that being said, with me being pregnant, me, not being able to quote unquote walk the graduation,
mm,
go to prom, that was always my dream, was to go to prom. My dream also was to attend college, like go off to school, be a part of different programs, and then come back and perhaps, share my knowledge and my understanding with other persons and see how I could reach out. But it doesn't stop there. After I would have had my son, I said to myself, you know what, I always wanted to give him the lifestyle that I always wished to have. And
mm,
the moment I held him, I said I made a promise to him that I would, be the best mother I could be and try my best because it was something new to me. It was
mm,
something that I wasn't accustomed to. It was something I basically was learning while going through the process at the same time. So it was a bit of a difficulty for me, even though I had assistance from my mom and my sister. But then, oftentimes you still will find yourself alone.
mm.
And then you have to, figure out how to do things on your own. Okay, I am a mother now. How do I do this? How do I do that? Am I doing it right? Or basically, you know what, let me hold the baby this way. And then, oh, you're not, everybody have their way. You don't hold the baby this way, you hold the baby that way. So is everybody trying to tell you, okay, their definition of motherhood. So yeah, I really had during that time, I really had a difficulty, but I had to level up. I had to grow in my own weak areas and try to see how I could turn my weaknesses into strength so that I could be a better person and a better mother to my son.
That is awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. And I like the fact that you said that you wanted to create a life for your child that you knew that hey, what your child deserves. So I love that. I love that coming from a
Yeah.
mother's heart. So I know, well, I'm not a mother, but I mean it. Speaking from a mother's heart, a mother would always want the best for a child. And you were very young at that
Most
age, so
definitely.
you'd be thinking that way. So yes, that's awesome. So, did you have any challenge that you face while being a young mother?
Yes, at that time I was basically a single young mother,
Hmm.
and it was a bit of a challenge. Reason being because I was in the process of, I always wanted to have kids in a family structured environment, in a family structured home. And for me to have a child at a early age, it really didn't play out how I wanted to. So I that was one of my difficulties there. And then trying to cope with my son's father at the same time, trying to let him know that, I'm doing my best. I need your assistance. You need to come around more, etc. And then we would go hand in hand in terms of who gets the child at the weekend. But then during that time, I wasn't allowing my son to sleep out until I guess when he would have turned one because I was so attached to him.
Mhm.
And it's like everywhere I went, I wanted to take him with me, despite me having to go to work. When you're a mother, you will always want to constantly call and check up on them and be like, oh, what my child's doing, etc. But yeah, that was one of my difficulties in terms of not having his father around in the same home and trying to raise that child because I felt like I was doing it alone. Even though he was assisting the best way he could, it still wasn't enough for me because, like I said, that wasn't something that I always wanted. But because due to circumstances beyond my control and it happened, I had to accept what already happened and try to see how best I could move forward and then just continue going on a straight path.
Wow, and I guess that's where open communication comes in, where you both were
Yes.
able to communicate with each other and for the best interest of the child. So that's great.
Right.
That's great. And question, did you have goals or dreams that were hindered because of having a baby?
Yes. I could recall growing up, I always wanted to become a doctor. That was my dream. Like, I wanted to go to college, I wanted to be the best I could be, and I felt like entering the medical industry, going into medical profession, I think I would have done a pretty good job. But again, like I said, due to circumstances beyond my control, that was I wouldn't say put at the back burner because I end up finding something that I even love doing even more, and that's becoming an
Mm,
entrepreneur. So, despite me not being able to do what I always wanted to do, but I still in the process find something that I enjoy doing, and that's meeting new persons, helping women find whatever it is that they need, exchanging product for services, money, it comes hand in hand in it. And then you get to build relationships and you get to encourage women also because you become strange. You were first known as strangers and then strangers now become friends. And then yeah, so that would have been one of the goals
that's
I
good.
had hindered.
Mm. And young ladies needed to hear your voice. Young ladies needed to hear, hey, you've been there, you've done that. Now you could get up and become whatever you want to become. So your voice matters.
Right,
So you went through that process to bring someone out, someone who's feeling low in that process. And I thank you
right.
for that. With that being said, what inspires you to keep sharing your story, or what impact that you're planning on doing to encourage young women?
Well, what inspired me to share my story is basically me being looked down upon, and I realized normally, with other teen moms out there, persons will always, make them feel as though, oh, you had a baby at a young age, you're not gonna mount up to be anyone, or you just messed up your life and all sorts of things. But like I would have said earlier, you can't allow someone to define who you are. It has to come internally and then you have to release it. So if I could do it all over again, I would say, we learn from our experiences. And I think if I didn't had gone through the rocky pathway that I went through back then to now, I would not think I would be where I'm at today, because it forced me to put a woman head on my body. It forced
Mm.
me to make wise decisions. It forced me to make decisions not only for myself, but for my child as well, because now I am a representation of him. Because as he gets older, I have to make wise decisions. Whereas I don't want to be on the internet being found that, oh, years from now, he sees his mother doing something that she would regret or I would regret, because then I would have to explain what it was that I did back then. So I had to do all, not say all sorts of stuff, but I had to level up. And the best way I found in leveling up is basically growing internally and working on my own self development. And when I worked on my own self development, it automatically helped me in the role of becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a better mother, becoming a better communicator. And then I started to join like different programs so that I can now better myself and know how to speak, know how to approach things, know how to deal with persons on their level. Because I look at it, everybody has a level of understanding. How I treat Sarah, I cannot treat Sue. How I treat Sue, I have to meet everybody on their level. And two, I want it to be whereas I could relate more to my kids and not be, okay, mom, you're a single mother. Where do we go from here? There's something that I'm battling with. So it's still a learning process for me, because at the end of the day, with the new generation, it's like all sorts of things happening now. What used to happen back then, and we used to get away with it, it doesn't happen now. So I would say, yeah,
And the thing about it, you said that you worked on yourself. You enrolled in different programs, learned how to speak better, to present yourself better. So, what advice would you give to a young lady who found out that she is pregnant and think that it's the end of her life? That, okay, because the baby's here, everything has to go on hold, and now she's stuck. What advice can you give to that person to let her know that her life is not over?
the advice I would give to someone that basically just entering the new phase, quote unquote, teen mom, I would say, it's not the end of the world. What you're going through now is something that other persons will make you feel as though it's something that you cannot handle. But we could handle anything that we put our mind to. And if you put, quote unquote, in your head that, what, I could do this. I could become the best mother that I want to be. I could provide for my child the best things that he or she may need. And sometimes, oftentimes we find ourselves raising kids on our own without the father. And I feel as though even though the father may not be there, there's still things that you could learn. There's still things that you could reach out to another guy or another person or even your father or a relative to say, well, you know what, kindly assist me in, raising this child basically, because this is something new to me. It doesn't have to be financially, it could just be like a word of advice. And two, you could read up. They have tons of books out there whereas you could read up to educate yourself, because I know knowledge goes a long way. So if you find yourself going through a state of depression, girl, listen here. There's tons of opportunities out there. It's like I always just tell persons who I encounter, money is in the hands. You may feel as though like there's no job out there and you're struggling trying to take care of the child, and you don't want to go out there and beg no one to assist you or give you funds financially or grocery. Like you could do all, you pick up a trade. They have all kind of trades online, whereas you could just pick up a trade, whether it's in the beauty field, whether it's in the
You
I mean,
said
lashes falls under beauty. It could be beauty, it could be music, it could be all sorts of things. Like whatever your heart desires, based on where your passion lies, you could go there and say, well, you know what, I want to do this. You know what it is inside your heart that it is that you want to do. Nobody can say, well, you know what, hey, I think you should be able to do this. If you don't have a desire to do it, then don't do it. But if you know that you have a passion for it, you love doing it, like me, say, I love sales. I love talking. I love to influence. I love to inspire and all sorts of things. But at the same time, this is something that I enjoy. I could do
Mm.
it all day and not get bored of it. So if you find that niche and you said, you know what, this is something that I want to enter, go there and do it. Go there and pursue it. Because that right there could be your your moment to say, well, you know what, this is going to be the door that's going to take me to the next level, whereas I could be able to give my child that experience that I didn't had when I once was a kid, or even a better experience. So at the same time, like I said, just get up, girl, get up. You could do this. You could go there. You could make it happen. You don't have to lay on your back. You don't have to do things that you don't want to do to say, well, you know what, you need to make ends meet. I know we're going through a pandemic right now, but at the end of the day, the money is in the hands, and I cannot express that anymore. So if you could find anything to do with your hands, and beauty sells, so you could always make money from beauty, and you could always find different sorts of things that you could actually attract to you so that you could sell and make money from it.
That is so true. And God has blessed us, each and every one of us, with a gift and a talent. You just have to search deep within yourself and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, that way. And
Right.
thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Charles Roberts. Thank you, Carmel Langs. Thank you, Makiva Murray, Elgana Raman. Thank you so much for Cindy Boleg. Thank you for joining us. Charles Terrell, thank you for joining us. Yeah, so we are having a conversation with Adeline Lubin on It Happened, Now What? She has enlightened us that, hey, you do not have to stay down where you are, but you could get up, learn a trade, learn something that you love to do. You don't have to lay on your back to get money. The monies are in your hands. I love that. The monies are in your hand. Just go there and do your thing. So thank you once again, Miss Adeline Lubin. I know we're coming to the end, but before you go, is there any advice or little nuggets you would like to leave with our guests? And where can someone find you?
Most definitely. The advice that I would give to our guests, like I would have said, even to our viewers, maybe you're not a part of the teen mom situation. You probably just watching to get a word of encouragement, like I would have said earlier. The money is in the hands, the resources are out there. There's nothing you could say, well, okay, the money has left the planet and there's nothing I could do. I can't find a job because there's nowhere hiring. But go there and create your job. Create something that you want to do. You could go and sell stuff, import stuff from the United States, from China. Find something. It's always something online that you can sell and bring to the market. So if you're like I said, if you're struggling with, depression, you just get up. Listen to more motivational quotes. They have all kind of series and point. I mean, videos online on YouTube, whereas you can go and watch to motivate yourself daily. That's something that I do on the regular. Instead of watching TV or listening to music, I try to keep myself motivated because at the end of the day, the energy you attract is the energy you release. So if you don't attract the right energy inside of you, you cannot release it. So if you all about going out there trying to keep up with what Sarah's doing over there or who Sarah is seeing, you're not gonna make life better for you. So your whole goal should be, what, how could I better myself? How could I work on me? How could I become a better mother, a better friend, a better colleague, a better employee, a better business owner? And it goes hand in hand and it goes on. So how could I work on my own self-development so that it could help me in the process of going to the next level?
That's
And you can also find me on Adeline Lubin Speaks. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. My email address is adelinelubinspeaks@gmail.com. So if you have any questions or concerns, you could feel free. I am open to answer all of your questions, and I'll try my best to answer them in a timely manner. But once again, it was a pleasure being here this evening.
Thank you, Miss Adeline. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Thank you for just dropping those diamonds, those nuggets that we all can suck up and apply to our lives. You have shared with us tips. You have shared with us resources that, hey, we can apply to our lives. And thank you. If you need to reach out to Miss Adeline, she has given you her handles where you can find her. I encourage you to reach out to her sister. Let your sister know what's going on. And she can help. Maybe she can help you. Don't be afraid afraid. Like she said, girl, you got this. You could get up. You can do this. So once again, thank you everyone for tuning in. I am your girl, Alicia, your Millennial Empowerment Catalyst. Thank you for following our page. You can also reach us on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Yes, those 3 pages, okay? And if you need help or you need to find, you're trying to find your purpose and you don't know how to find it, and you just need a listening ear or someone to help guide you, please send me a message with the caption self-love. Let's get on a call, a clarity call, and let's see if we can do this thing. Once again, thank you for joining. And remember that your voice matters. Your story matters, your voice matters, and you matter. Hello, someone. Once again, have a good evening, have a good morning, have a good night, and see you next week on another episode of Leveling Up Your Confidence. It looks good on you. Have a good one.